has to be somewhere else.
Sorry.
This is too far away. Either the table has to come or.
This is okay.
Yes. Yes. We are all, at least we are fashionably late. Shall we start? Yes. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Practicing Chaitanya. Your son is learning. Honestly. We have a saying that the Bhagavad Gita must be studied very well. Even if we don't study anything else, this is one thing that must be studied. Gita Sugita Kartavya. Gita must be studied very well. And then the person says, Kim Anyaihi Shastra Vistaraihi. So, what is the use of having so many other scriptures when we have the Bhagavad Gita? That should be studied very, very well. That is the saying. Now, what is this thing called Bhagavad Gita? Many people don't know. Even though we are born and brought up in the culture, what this is, we do not know. And so, before we see how it applies in our daily life, we'll start at the beginning and understand what is this thing called Bhagavad Gita. Gita means song. In fact, there is no word called Gita. It's Gitam, neuter. But here it is made into Gita, feminine, because all the best things in life are feminine. Yes. That is why. Because what do people want? Money, Lakshmi. Yes. Money, money, money. And then if you say, oh, you're so materialistic, we don't all want money, we want happiness, that is also a form of Lakshmi. There are 8 forms of Goddess Lakshmi. No, I want domestic happiness. That is another Lakshmi. I want food, foodie Lakshmi. Yeah, Dhanya Lakshmi, that is another form of Lakshmi. I want peace of mind. That's one more Lakshmi is a peace of mind. And then if you say, I don't want Lakshmi at all, then what are you into? Knowledge. I want knowledge. I'm a nerd. I want to study all the time. Saraswati, another goddess. So therefore, to keep an eye on this, huh? Yeah. I tightened it. Hopefully it should stay. Let me hold it. Perfect. Yes, bye-bye. Yes. So, what? Yeah, it's better now. So Lakshmi, half the people want, or most of the people want. And this is true. This is global. Once I was taking some people from the Christian seminary in Washington, D.C., around a Hindu temple. I was teaching there, and they said the person who gives the tour is sick. Can you please do the tour? There were about 65 people. And they were coming behind me, and I was explaining to them shrines, various shrines, and everything. And then I said, this is Lakshmi. What does she do? She's the goddess of wealth, abundance, and peace and prosperity. And then after that, I kept on talking and moving forward. I realized after a little while I was talking to myself. All of them just stopped there and started to pray. Yes, this is the power. Lakshmi, and then what else? Saraswati. And then, if you want to subset and say, no, I'm not interested in any kind of knowledge, what kind of a knowledge I want? I want spiritual knowledge. That is also called goddess Shruti. Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita. That's why Gitam has been made into Gita. Because the teaching of how to be in harmony with everything by understanding that you are not separate from anything is something that everybody wants and is something that is not confined to people from India or people from some other country. India does not have monopoly over the Gita. The second reason it is called Gita is like Gita means song. A song is pleasant to hear. Heavy metal exempted, okay? Yeah. So a song is pleasant to hear, and when you hear it, you feel good. Your whole body starts moving this way, that way, and you are moving along with the music. In some sense, what have you become? One with the music. By calling this Bhagavad Gita, we hope that everybody becomes one with the song, which is the teaching in the form of a song. It's not actually a musical, but it is to be chanted, but it is like a song in the sense that it is very pleasing to hear. That is what is Gita. Now, what is this other word? Bhagavat. Bhagavat Gita. Bhagavat means the one who has Bhaga. Okay? Bhaga is a very interesting word. Bhaga means you can say virtues or you can say some kind of a grace. And so, in our understanding, that which is the cause of the universe is the one who is endowed with six bhagas, from whom, whatever you may call this entity, from whom this universe has as though come, as though is important here, yeah. From by whom this universe is as though sustained, unto whom this universe as though resolves. So the whole universe is what? As though. More about that later. As though. Okay. So then, if there is a universe, there must be something in charge. That is where we start. Because we can't have just, a random set of things randomly happening. And even though these days we feel like that, like everything is out of control and you don't know what's happening next, but still, that is how the way that is how it is. That the disorder that we may see in any given life, in any given time, in any given society, is also part of a large meta order, a mega order that we cannot yet comprehend. And so that uh, that understanding is, we don't say it is, we don't like, I don't like to use the word God. What happened? Why because it seems odd. Why? Because we are not familiar with this term, and or we are rather over familiar with this term, and there are many ideas and associations with it. And all the ideas and associations and presentations of this entity called God is something which is very remote and removed. Some guy in the sky, they're very convinced it's a guy. Cannot be a. They're convinced it's a guy. Cannot be anything else. So, and then they say it is formless. Formless but has a gender, formless but stays in a place called Swarga or heaven. It needs a place. So, this is not the bread and butter of what we do here. What we are trying to understand is the oneness between that which makes me me. We need to. Can you please mute yourselves? Because otherwise it is interfering here. Okay? Yeah. Please mute yourself. There was a way to do it here. See if you can do it. Yeah. Mute all. Because they're not understanding, I think. If you want a participate. Yes. Perfect. No. No. Yes. Wonderful. If we, what we see is that what we need to understand is that the teaching is not presenting another entity to be scared of, another authority figure that we don't know how to relate, another person that I have to be worried about, another person who's watching me. Already there are enough people watching me. Yeah. There are not too, and then if there are no people, there are of course CCTV cameras everywhere. I'm being watched, I'm being surveilled, and then now what? I go to a spiritual lecture, and then I'm told that there is one more entity that is watching me. No, this is not what this teaching is about. This teaching is understanding first who I am, this I, and then seeing it from the standpoint of the Bhagavad Gita, the definition of the individual is a very interesting definition because the individual I is presented as the indweller of this body mind sense complex rather than someone who is identical with this body mind sense complex. If I was as good as the body, I would not be able to notice the changes in the body. I would not be able to say, oh, my back hurts, or I'm in a bad mood. If I say I'm in a bad mood, I'm not really saying I'm in a bad mood. I'm saying I'm observer of the bad mood that appears to have descended upon the mind. You see, there is a different I. Who is the Sakshin? Who is the observer? This is what we have to understand. And so, this observer, who is this observer? It's formless, nameless, but existent. You cannot say the observer is non existent. If I say I am the observer and I am non existent, I'll be putting myself in a pickle. Definitely. How can I be the observer and still be what? Non existent. The observer has to be existent, and I am existent. How do I know that I exist? Hmm? We have to answer the question which I'm about to ask. Are you here?
Yes.
Yes. So that you don't have to turn to the significant other and say, do I exist? No, you don't have to ask permission. Can I tell them that I exist? You are here and you know it. That means what? This existence that you enjoy is an unfettered, untethered existence. You are unlike anything else in this universe. You are aware of yourself and you are aware of everything else. Nothing else is aware of you. Really. This is amazing. Nothing else is aware of you. You are aware of everything. And then you are aware of yourself automatically, and you are everything becomes evident to you. Table evident to me, computer evident to me, chair evident to me, people sitting in front of me, bodies evident to me. I suppose if I had some siddhis and I could read your mind, like I'm getting a thought about your thought, your mind evident to me, your senses evident to me. But you, what about you? You, the I in you and the I in me is one. The I in you, the I in me, the I in she, the I in he, and the I in everyone. There is only one singular I, many bodies, many minds, many senses, many opinions, many notions, many egos, one I. And when we take away that which is dispensable, body dispensable, definitely, because it keeps changing, it is not the same minute by minute. We are sitting here in aging, yeah. So, body dispensable, mind dispensable, never mind. That's the only thing we can say about the mind. Never you mind. Everything is dispensable. But the only thing that is here to stay is this I, which is without a second. This I is equated to what we call Ishvara, God. That same I, which can be culled into, which after everything that does not really belong in ultimately, which does not ultimately count as unchanging, body unchanging, body changing, mind changing, senses changing, age changing, mm, house changing, spouse changing, everything is changing. Only one thing is not changing. What is that? I. Who is this I? The one who is aware of all the changes is the changeless one. So, this I is awareness. Awareful, aware of this and that, and it is awareness itself. And that which we call Ishvara, God, is also what? Awareness. When you take away all the changing things, when you take away the bhagas, this is where I was explaining. 6 bhagas or 6 virtues here, the same awareness endowed, which is myself, endowed with these 6 virtues. What are they? Samagram, balam, all strength. I have a little bit of strength. After going to the gym, going, one small little muscle comes. Okay. Yes. Very jealously you guard it and jealously you have it. One flew in the muscle is also gone. Your resolve to go back to the gym is also what? Gone. This is my strength. But imagine a strength that is limitless strength. Samagram balam, that one. Aishwarya, overlordship. Overlordship means the ability to rule. I also rule. I also have rulership. over a dog, over a cat. Yes, sit. I tell the dog. First, it looks at my hand. It's not dumb. And then if I have a treat, it will say, okay, for this I have to. They're making me jump through a hoop. I'll sit down. Yeah, I will sit. Dog is cleverer, cat is cleverer still. Cat, you say sit, it will, it will just shake a leg and go away. It's not interested in trying to. It says, I'm a superior being and I was not made to obey you. That's what it will tell. Aishwarya, we know. We know rulership. We know overlordship. We have a sense of what power is. A small creature is caught, an ant is caught in the rainwater puddle. It is helplessly trying to get out. You are in a good mood. You say, oh, poor thing. You put a little leaf and rescue it. Overlordship. But imagine this overlordship times limitless. Limitless overlordship, limitless strength. And we all know a few things. And when we don't know, there is always Google, right? Yeah. And then we know we can go and find out, we can go and get this information from somewhere, we know that. So we all know a few things. And the more we know, the more we do not know. This is true in any branch. In any branch, you look in academia, you look in anywhere. I call it academia. Okay, you look and see what is there. The more you know, the less you know. You write a PhD and then it is a hit. Means what? It is hit by the next PhD. That's all, which is criticizing your PhD. So we have small knowledge, but if we can think of this knowledge without needing a head, all knowledge. So how many do we have? Three bhagas, three qualities. And then the fourth one is this samagram, samagra shrihi, all resources. Whereas what about our resources? Finite. Resources are always finite. Anything. You say, somebody asks you for money, what do you say? Sorry, I don't have. My teacher used to say, I can make the richest man in the world, richest person in the world, poor in a second. How do you do it? I would ask them for a donation to build a orphanage or something. And then what will they say? Oh, I'm so sorry, can't oblige, Swamiji, can't oblige. So our resources are finite. But if we can think of infinite resources, that is the one endowed with that is called Bhagavan. How many is that? Four? Four. Yeah. Then if we have a few resources, our head starts to spin, our ahankara, the ego, starts to fly high. We look down upon people condescendingly. Oh, where did you come from? Yeah. I'm in a different league over here. But for Bhagavan, Ishvara, there is all vairagya, no attachment to those resources, complete, infinite, limitless, non attachment to the resources. And then finally, there is samarthya, the ability to project this universe, to sustain the universe, and to take back the universe between cycles of this creation. This is called six bhaga. The one who has these six bhagas is called Bhagavan, Bhagavatah, Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan, Lord, but not Lord as in the way we understand. It's that same awareness, consciousness, as it were, endowed with these accoutrements. And these accoutrements, all power, all knowledge, etc., they come and they go, so they don't really ultimately count. Ultimately, what is there? All that is there is this awareness, consciousness, which is the truth of myself. This is what I have to know. So, this is Bhagavad Gita, song of the Lord. Here, Lord is Krishna. Krishna is the one teaching here. So, the song of Lord Krishna. Krishna means the one Karshati Sarvan, the one who attracts, the entity who attracts everybody. And there are many stories told about Krishna to young children when we start teaching them. The grandmas will start telling the stories, and then all the women were after him. And then what? Their husbands were also after him. So this shows that there was a universal charisma. And what is this charisma? It is the charisma of joy. There is nothing that pulls like joy. And Krishna is seen as the embodiment of joy, while Rama is seen as the embodiment of righteousness, dharma. You know, a Bharatanatyam dancer depicting Rama will be very straight like this. This is the bow. She carries and she'll go. But when she depicts Krishna, it will be all like a wave because Ananda, joy, is always non-linear. That is the idea. The joy is always non-linear. So we have this Bhagavad Gita, the song of the Lord, one meaning, the song for which the subject matter is understanding this Lord as non separate from myself, understanding this Lord as the very awareness which is the truth of me. So there is no distance between myself and the so called creator of the universe. It is all one, it is all me. So we have many statements by enlightened rishis and sages in the Veda who channeled the mantras, and then they all say, I am the peak of the mountain. I am the tree. I am everything that I want to be. There is a kind of a universal I that is speaking through them, and that is basically the sign of enlightenment is to see yourself as everything, as non-separate from everything. This in gist is the message of the Bhagavad Gita. Now this message has to percolate into one's everyday life, for which we will enter the Bhagavad Gita and see what is happening over there. What is happening over there is we have a dialogue between Arjuna, a warrior, and Lord Krishna. This shows that this teaching is always has to be in the form of a dialogue, failing which this will not be understood. Because this is not based on belief. You are the whole. It's not a belief. You are Ananda, joy. It's not a belief. You are not afflicted by any of the problems in this universe. That's not a belief. It is something to be understood. And already the head is full of notions, so many difficult notions, so many opposing notions, that therefore there has to be a give and a take. There has to be a dialogue. There have to be questions. There have to be answers. There have to be counter questions. But I don't agree. In fact, if you don't have questions in the scriptures themselves, in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Upanishads, the primary scriptures, the questions are raised and answered for us because it's a very long and a dialectic tradition. So Lord Krishna represents the teacher without whom this knowledge cannot be gained. Why? Because we stand in our own way. And then Arjuna represents who? The student. The student who is in great turmoil. Because who will seek a teacher? Only the one who has questions will seek a teacher. If we have all the answers, there is no need for a teacher. The teacher is there because there are questions, because not only because there are questions, because there are questions which we cannot answer. That is why there is a teacher. And therefore, we have to see this dialogue as being intrinsic to the pedagogy of this understanding. So the dialogue is there because Arjuna is in a terrible fix. What is the fix? Hmm? What is the fix? Yeah, he is in a battlefield. That's a terrible fix. Yeah, that itself is a bad fix. He is in the middle of a battlefield for a war that he does not want. Why does he not want this war? Because not because he's a pacifist. Please don't think that. Yeah. Because he's a warrior. This is ancient India. That's what he does for a living. He fights. And here is one place he does not want to fight. Why? Because he considers the people on the other side, the same royal family, badly. What is that? Badly. Bad relationship, bad blood between them. And he considers them inimical to him, but yet he does not want to fight them. I think he's in a toxic relationship with all these people, Duryodhana and all these people. Yeah. What else will be? Here they are oppressing you. They are going bam, 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 and they've done everything. They are terrorists. In fact, we have a definition of terrorism in ancient India in Sanskrit. The one who is an arsonist. There are six things that one has to do, six things that define a terrorist. And if you have done even one of them, you're a terrorist. So, an arsonist, and then the one who takes away somebody else's spouse, somebody else's property, somebody else's house, and then the one who poisons somebody, and the one who, what was the last one? The last one is the one who, yeah, kills an unarmed person. These are six things. Even one, if somebody has done, they are considered a terrorist. Duryodhana, the main antagonist in this story, had done all six of them to these five brothers. Usurped the kingdom, Kshetra Apaharaha, usurped the wife, Dara Apaharaha, and usurped the property, the house and everything, usurped the palace, and then what else? Poisoned Garadaha, Agnidaha, tried to set fire in the where they were staying. All the things he had done, there was no exception. All six. He went by the book. Okay, let me see what is a terrorist. Ooh, how to become a terrorist in 6 easy steps. This is what he did. Terrorist for dummies. Oh. Huh? Terrorist for dummies. Yeah. So this is what he said. This is what he did, and all of them. He had 100 brothers and one sister, all of them useless, totally useless. What are the chances that out of 100 children, all of them will be sour grapes? What are the chances? But here we have. What are the odds? Here we have a rotten family, and then they, for some reason, they have usurped and they have been allowed to usurp the entire kingdom. And not only that, ill treat the praja. What is praja in English? Subjects. Ill treat the subjects, kill, pillage, pilfer, run the economy to the ground so that they can get rich and they can get powerful and they can do a lot of things. No rule of law, nothing, just terrorizing innocent people who are just trying to make a living. And who is Arjuna? He's supposed to be the protector. He's supposed to be the royal family in power. He's not. He's disempowered. He's kicking the can down the road and wondering how to get back the kingdom. He had no problem trying to plot this war and do everything. But when confronted with Some of them, what should I say? Some elders who wrongly joined the side of this villain, he lost his nerve totally. He lost his nerve because he thought, this is my teacher of archery. This is my grandpa. Grandpa is on the other side. This is my uncle. He's also on the other side. Everybody is against me. And then he started to have what is called, right in the middle of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he has a terrible case of Stockholm syndrome. Yes, terrible case of making excuses for them. Oh, poor things, they don't know better. Oh, but they are greedy. That doesn't mean we should be greedy. What should we do? We should all go and take renunciation. We should all become monks and we should just go order some orange cloths, wear them, get out of this thing, and then say Om Namah Shivaya that, for the rest of our lives. Well, if that was his goal, why didn't he do this before? 12 years he plotted and prepared for this war, and now confronted with the people with whom he has a strange relationship. He is in a puddle. He sinks to the bottom of the chariot and has the first panic attack ever recorded in history. He says, I feel feverish. All these things are there. I'm not making it up. Sometimes I do make stuff up, but not in this case. So he says, what does he say? He says, I don't know what to do. Na shaknomi avasthatum brahmati va me manaha. My mind is roaming all over the place. I'm not able to focus. A warrior should focus. I'm not able to focus. I'm not able to concentrate. And then he says, Tvakcha paridahyate. I think I have a fever. He's like a small child, I have a stomach ache. I can't go to school. Krishna, I have a fever. I'm all, I'm all hot. I feel feverish. And then he says, Gandivam samsrate hastat. From my hand, my bow, which I'm supposed to hold because the arrows are coming. In fact, the battle cry has been declared. Everybody has blown their conch shells, indicating the start of the battle. The arrows are whizzing by, and what does this fellow do? He just sits at the bottom of the chariot, slips, and the bow slips from his hand. Why does the bow slip from his hand? Because she's sweaty. And then he says, I don't know. And then I'm seeing bad omens everywhere. Apparently, some jackals were howling. The jackals howl every time. So, but that time he never did he notice. Now he suddenly noticed, and they say, "Oh, jackals are howling," and then that means what? Bad omen. We might lose the war. So what shall we do? Let's not fight at all. Let's learn a lesson from the ostrich. What does the ostrich do? When anything unpleasant happens, it buries its head in the sand, forgetting that the rest of it we can see. So, or any predator can come to it even more easily. This is why Arjuna needs a teacher here. And then don't think, oh, I'm not in battle. I'm not in danger. I'm not in this, because battle has different looks. Yeah. And most of the battle is happening here in this kshetra. Kshetra means field. Here is the battle. What should I do? What should I not do? OMG. If I do this, then they will think this, and if they think this, and they will do this, and then if I counter do this, then what will they do? This is what is the story of everybody's life. Arjuna represents everyone, and also he's not afraid to ask the questions that we would be afraid to ask. That's why we love Arjuna. We are very happy that he is the one in the place of the student. So here is student Arjuna, and then teacher Krishna. And what does he do at the end of chapter 1? He just lies there at the, swimming in the puddle of his own tears. And the last words he says is what? Nayotsye, I'm not going to fight. Whatever you do, I'm not going to fight. And Krishna is driving his chariot. What to do? This baggage, literal baggage. A warrior who will not fight. And so the second chapter opens with a scolding by Lord Krishna. Kutastva kashmalamidam. Vishame samupasthitam. Anarya jushtam asvargyam. Akirtikaram Arjuna. Klaibyam masmagamaf partha. Naitvatetat upapadyate. Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam. Tyaktva uttishta parantapa. Do I need to translate? Yeah. No translation needed. Get up. What are you doing here? Where has all this valor gone? At home, when I visit you, you show me all your this whole wall of awards that you have won and accolades. In another room, you have the head of the boar and the deer and everything that you have killed. All these wild lion and tiger and all these things you have vanquished. And here you are crying puddles and puddles of tears and making up all kinds of symptoms. What has gotten into you? This is not the Arjuna that I know. This is somebody else. You are in fact possessed. You are in fact possessed. And we have to exorcise whatever has got you. Yes. We have our own exorcism. Yeah. Exorcism can be done with they take a broom and hit the head. This was equivalent to that. Whatever is in there, come out, come out, come out. Lord Krishna does that in the first few verses. And then we have the teaching, which I have already talked about a little bit, about what is it that really constitutes the I. Not the body, it keeps changing. In fact, the body is referred to as your outfit. You change the outfit when? At the end of the day. You change the outfit when else? When the t-shirt is tired, old, threadbare, not threadbare jeans. They are in. Okay? They are in fashion. Yeah. Threadbare, tired t-shirt, old t-shirt, which is ready to now to be what? Mop rag that is there. And then you wear another one. Similarly, at the end of this life, you give up this body and take on a newer one. End of the life means end of the life comes at different times to different people. When the body is no longer useful to for you to be doing whatever you need to do, then the change in the body happens. And in this body also, in one body also, you have what? Childhood, youth, old age. In and through, there is one person who shows me a photograph and says, "This is me when I was 2 months old." A grainy photograph was shown to me by this elderly gentleman. "This is me. Swamiji, this is me when I was 2 months old." I said, "I see the resemblance." That time also you had no teeth and no head. Now also, no teeth, no head. So, like this. But what is it that makes me say, that was me? Now, what is this now? This is also me. And 20 years hence, that is also me. Obviously, not the body. The body has undergone many, many changes. Obviously, not the mind. Obviously, not the senses. Obviously, not the ahankara, the ego that is in charge of the body mind sense complex. No, that is identified with it. There is something else that makes me say, this is me. This is who I was at that time. This is how I look. This is how I look. Later on, this is how I may look. And that is the one that is equated with the whole, that is equated with this entire universe of names and forms, many, many names, many and varied names, many and varied forms, one consciousness, one awareness. And what is this awareness is also told. What is this awareness? This awareness is looked at from three standpoints. First, it is existent, it is there. Second, it is sentient. Third, it is limitless, ananda, ananta. And this consciousness is what you are. And in fact, the lecture should stop here. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita should have also stopped here. But we cannot. Why? Because, like the plane we hear flying overhead, that is how the teaching also goes. Little bit I understand, little bit I'm happy with, but the rest of it is not quite fully there. And because as soon as I leave the lecture and go out, the same, all the things in my life that I do not want, all the things in my life that are a drag, come back. They all come back. And I feel like I'm not equipped to deal with this life in keeping with this vision. A vision of no division sounds wonderful. I want it. Of course, who doesn't want it? It's like saying, who doesn't want chocolate cake? Everybody wants it. This vision also everybody wants. Absolutely everybody wants it. But then, how do we put ourselves in a mindset and in an understanding where we can assimilate this vision? So, for this, we have chapter 3 because Arjuna asks a question. You tell me that this knowledge is something that I have to assimilate. Then why am I fighting this war? I should be sitting and assimilating the knowledge. You should give me a ticket, an exit ticket, so that I won't be court martialed afterwards. I should leave this war and then go study this knowledge. And Lord Krishna says, no. Why? Because even to understand this, you need an equipment in the form of an infrastructure, an inner infrastructure, because of which you can see the truth of this. And as long as your everyday life is completely different from this knowledge, there is this knowledge there. Yes, I want to be whole, I want to be one with everything, and I am whole and I am one with everything. I somewhere, somehow know. But what is the daily life like? It's more like the daily grind. Whatever I want to do, what I cannot do. My teacher used to say, everything you love is what? Either illegal, yeah, immoral, too expensive, or has too many calories. Whatever I want, I can't have. Whatever I don't want appears to come in double and triple helpings. Whatever I want, I cannot have. Why? Because it belongs to somebody else. Simple. Whatever I don't want, I keeps revisiting me again and again and again. What to do here? How to go about this? How to go beyond this impasse that whatever I want, I cannot get. Whatever I don't want, I seem to get a lot of. Do I blame karma? Do I blame Saturn? Saturn return. I don't know why it should return, but it keeps returning. Yeah. Do I blame Do I blame the planets? Do I blame this thing called God? Or do I blame everybody else in my life? It's tempting to do have the last option. Yes. It's something kind of morbidly satisfying. Yes. It's because of these people I cannot live. It's because of those people that I don't, my creativity is being stifled. It's because of those people over there that I cannot have what I want. And and then what? It starts all over again. All over again. So the jiva, the individual, is the one that is full of complaints. When you wake up and stretch, the complaints also wake up and stretch. Ah, you want a cup of coffee? The complaints also say, where is my coffee? The complaints also are nurtured and strengthened day by day. And then we become a kind of, we become used to it, accustomed to it so much that if we don't complain for half an hour, we feel something is wrong. Oh, what's wrong? Something is not right. Oh, I have not complained. For a half an hour, I haven't complained. Something is wrong. We become accustomed to it. And we feel like when we are complaining, we feel like there is some outlet and there is a catharsis from which we can reset. This is a myth. This is an absolute and total myth that you can reset after these complaints, because the complaints just do not reverse the distress. They only rehearse the distress so that everybody is a drama king or a drama queen. That is what it is. Lots of drama, no Rama in one's life. That's all it is. Only drama. Lots of drama. It's like getting ready, but not really reaching anywhere. Treading water in place. Having this universal victim mentality, and this victim mentality is the definition of samsara, full of sorrows, full of grief. 8 billion people in the world asking at the same time, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why only me? This is what is the problem. And this is completely reverse, completely opposed to the teaching that all this is one whole and that you are free already of suffering, you are free of any kind of afflictions, physical, mental, etc. Whatever is happening to the body does not touch you, whatever is happening to the mind is not influencing you. Completely different. That teaching is going somewhere, and my life, my beliefs, my opinion, and the way in which I lead my life is going nowhere. Completely different. So the finger which was pointing to the stars, Saturn, Jupiter, this not in alignment, and Rahu and Ketu and all these things, and then what else? And the finger that was going, pointing to this person, that person, that person, that person, or groups of people. These are all terrible people. These are the people because of whom I can't, they don't treat me well. These are the people. These are another set of people. I'm surrounded by idiots. That's why I cannot be happy. The finger that is moving everywhere, the Bhagavad Gita says, has to finally come back here. Oh, so now I have to blame myself. No, you don't have to blame yourself. What do you have to do? Look within. Look at the complainer. Look at the source of the complaints. And the source of the complaint is who? You. You are the source from which all the complaints are ensuing. Connect back to the source. Cycle back to the source and just look within. How has it worked out for you to complain about everybody else for the last God only knows how many lifetimes? And if one is honest with oneself, we have to say it hasn't worked out very well. And so, therefore, what does one do? We have to see the obvious, that I cannot change anything. I cannot change anybody. I cannot change anyone at all. In fact, anybody who is married knows this. Married for a long time knows this. You have to know this. How can you not know this? In fact, I saw somebody who came to get blessings on their uh, 60th wedding anniversary. They came. So I said, okay. I said, how did you see each other? It was an arranged marriage. And so I said, did you see each other before you got married? They said, yes, once. And I said, so what did you think at that time? Oh, we were very young. And I thought, oh, she's a poor, helpless little thing. And if I marry her, I can protect her and I can help her. And what did you think? I asked her. And she said, oh, he looks like he's in need of a lot of help. That's what she said. So they both were thinking the same. And then I said, what did you find out after getting married to one another? And he said, I was shocked because she's so independent, she didn't need any help at all. And same thing she also said. She said it was full of surprises, full of complete surprises. And so even now, we cannot predict what the other is going to do 60 years after marriage. Okay. So that means what? That we don't have a say over the ways of anybody. Isn't it a definition of madness that I am here in this world pointing fingers at everybody and complaining about them endlessly while knowing full well that I can't do a single thing about them? They will continue to behave as they are. They will continue to do whatever they are told not to do. Whatever I expect them not to do, they will do. And not only that, there is also the whole world and the collective habits of people and situations, and so many things to be mad at, so many things to be upset at. So am I still going to go around and give my power away to these kinds of situations? Or am I going to see that there is something that I have the power to change? And that power I have to unleash. I have the power to change. I have the power to grow out of these complaints. No, 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 you don't know me. In fact, my food does not digest if I don't complain. If you were to say that to me, I will say, what happens when you sleep? Do you complain in your sleep?
No.
If you say yes, please see me after the Do you complain in your sleep?
No.
No, you don't complain in the sleep. You don't complain at all in the sleep. You are very much non complaining. Whether you complain or not, other people don't complain that you are sleeping because they are very happy that you are free of complaints. Okay. No complaints in sleep. Then what happens? When you wake up, complaints. This shows that there is a problem here. If if the complaining being is a permanent addition to me, that means I can never be without it. I cannot remove the complaints because why? The complaining person is part and parcel of who I am, is intrinsic to who I am. Is that correct? No, because in sleep I don't complain. 2 minutes of happiness I get somehow, somewhere, accidentally, I stop complaining. That means that which is the reality we have to see. Is the complaining person the reality or the non complaining person the reality? What do you think? Hmm? Non complaining person? Sure. Yes. Because the non complaining person, we can say, is the reality because We don't complain about not complaining. Huh? Nobody comes and says, I have not complained for 1 week. What is wrong with me? Nobody says that. That is taken to be normal because it is in keeping with my desires. We have to see this. It's in keeping with my desires. So I don't want to be this raving, ranting, complaining person. In fact, what do I want to be? A satisfied, contented person. This is what I want to be. I want to be a contented person. I want to be an appreciative person. I want to be an accommodative person. I don't want to be this complaining person. In fact, I hate myself as a, I have self loathe towards the complaining person, but yet I feel like there is no other option. And yet I feel like it is somehow healing to complain. So I keep complaining. And then I find a group of people who also complain about the same thing, and then it becomes a support group. Misery loves company. Yeah, we live in crazy, crazy times. We live in. So now, the if this is understood, if this much is understood, then we can say that the non-complaining person is who I am. In fact, that is who I want to be. Now, what have I been up till now? Complaining person. From the complaining person to go to the non complaining person, that is where I have a big complaint. How to do that? Very, very difficult. It's not easy to do that. And so, what do we say? We say that there is a method. This is the pedagogy of the Bhagavad Gita. This is what is shown on the everyday practical level. The first thing to do is to understand that we have what is called raga, dvesha. What is raga? Strong preferences. And then what is dvesha? Strong prejudices. Every head has them. And even if you say, I have no raga dveshas, that means you have a raga to not have raga dveshas. Every head is full of raga dveshas. Oh, so it's not my fault. No, it's not. That's great. That's wonderful. Who shall I blame for all the raga dveshas? You don't have to blame anybody. You don't have to complain. So that means if every head is full of raga and dvesha, strong prejudices and preferences, and that is the cause of sorrow, and that is the cause of complaints, then that means I can't do anything about it. You can, because you have the free will to let go of these prejudices and preferences, to query them and at least suspend them, if not completely let go of them. Suspend them for the time being. So, how does one do that? You can't just keep on suspending the prejudices and preferences. It's very hard to do because they have become a part of my identity. In fact, this is how one introduces oneself on all these dating apps and sites. Yeah. Who are you? These are my likes. I like to hike. And then what else? Bike and hike and do all these things. And then what was that? So, and then what do you not like to do? I hate this, I hate that, and I don't do that. And then what do we do? And then the computer matches. The computer matches one hiking biking person with another biking hiking person. Ah, okay. And then what? After a while, one person stops hiking or biking, and then what happens? They say, I want to become a Viking. So, like this, something or the other, one keeps changing, and we catch on to the changing things. And when we catch on to the changing things will keep on changing. because the raga, dvesha keep changing. What you liked at 5, you don't like right now. And what you wanted at 5 was teddy bear. Now you don't need a teddy bear. You don't want a teddy bear most of the time. Okay? Yeah. Some exceptions are there. So, like this, we have the we have this power. The power is to manage the preferences and prejudices. The extent to which I can manage the preferences and prejudices without letting them get in my way, the freer I am, the more creative I am, and more easily I can accomplish my ambitions, my goals, whether they are material or spiritual, whatever they are, much easier. So, but that's not how we look at it. We make friends based on what? Likes and dislikes. We make even the enemies. I hate this person. Why? Because they don't like what I like. This has become a very it's become a mainstay. So that to think like this even is a little takes a little bit of an effort. So the Bhagavad Gita is an inner journey and a journey to find satisfaction, harmony, peace, empowerment within, within ourselves. Since everything is one, if you are harmonious with yourself, then it's other people stop bothering you completely. They stop bothering you. You're not affected. Even if you're affected for a bit, you can come out of it. The Bhagavad Gita herself says, Guruna api dukkhena na vichalyate, is not moved by even the slightest, even by the, sorry, not the slightest, the greatest of sorrows, is unmoved, unfettered. Now we'll end on a practical note. We'll end with some practical tips of how to, if this much is understood, how to not come under the spell of raga and dvesha, strong preferences and prejudices as per the Bhagavad Gita. So first thing is stop being somebody who is always wanting the results of action. Karma, action, karma phala, result of action. Stop, in other words, stop being a karma phala holic in the sense that being attached to the results of action, because the results of action, as we have seen, are not in one's hands. You do something, you do the hard work, somebody else gets the praise. You make the effort, somebody gets the promotion. And you do whatever you're doing, but somebody else gets the prize. So, therefore, what? Therefore, there has to be a snipping, a ribbon cutting ceremony. To cut the ribbon between action and result of action, there is no connection. You do not produce the results of action at all. They're not in your hands. So, whose hands are they in? They come according to your karma. They will come. But I have done many good things. Good things will come. When? You have to wait. Why do I have to wait? That waiting is also karma. That's why you have to wait. Okay. And then we go like this. And then what happens is the first thing to know is that I am not an agent that produces the results of my action. Number two, therefore, I can't withdraw from all actions and sit down. That would be a drag. That would just, send one into a bout of depression. If you just say, I'm not coming out from under the covers because I do not produce the results of my action, so what's the point of acting anyway? This is not a practical way to live. So, number three, I continue to act and learn to expect only one result, which is what? self growth. All my actions, I continue to do whatever I'm doing. All my actions I use for my own emotional maturity and spiritual evolution. That's what I do. So therefore, it doesn't matter what I do. I can be working in a cafe, I can be working in a corporation, I can be working anywhere because the job doesn't matter. Promotion doesn't matter, nothing matters. What matters is my own growth. That's what matters. So in everything that I do, I gear it for my own growth. And then the fourth thing to remember is that if I'm not the producer of action, the results of action, then I should not think of myself as the actor. This we know. You go to anybody's house in India and you praise their cooking, you praise their um, house. They will say it's all God's grace, Guru's grace. It's from my grandmother I learned how to cook. Somewhere else they will put the credit. Because as soon as I take the credit, then I have to take the debit also. I don't want debit, I want free credit. What kind of thing is this? Doesn't come. So therefore, no debit, no credit. Clean account. Yes. So you just say, whatever you say, you say. It's, some people don't like the word God and all these things. They're not overtly religious. They will say it's the universe. The universe has gifted me with a lot of grace, and then this is what it is. Because really, nothing belongs to you. You aren't the creator of anything except perhaps confusion. Yes. What have you created? Really? What have you created? Everything was given. No, I have a patent. I have a patent on something. How did you get this patent? Through hard work. How did you do the hard work? Through my brains. Did you make your own brains? No? Okay, keep quiet. Yeah. So, huh? No, my mother made my brains. Did your mother make your brains? Go ask her. Yeah. If she's still in the body, please go ask her, Mom, did you make my brains? She will say, I wish I had made your brains. I try these kind of questions. Mom, did you make my kidneys? I only know how to make kidney beans. So, this is what it is. You didn't make your brains. How can you take credit for how this patent should not belong to you? Yes. No, but I studied under the street light. This is the what is the word of a self-made man. Yes. Self-made person. I studied under the street light. Street light given, okay? The ability to study given. Brain given. Buddhi, we say. Buddhi, intellect given. Hands given. A mind to complain also given. Everything is given, 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 given. So you cannot take credit. If you stop taking credit, then you will be a saner person in the daily life. You just say, it's happening. And I am somehow been blessed to be in the right place at the right time one more time. This is good. Then, so I'm not the actor. I'm not accruing. I'm not the one who is engineering the result of action. But the results of action are coming. And like I said, whatever I don't want comes twice, and whatever I want is elusive. So, next point, I forget which point it is. I have to learn to receive the results of action with equanimity. With equanimity. Something wonderful happens, yay, wonderful. Something terrible happens, I should be able to say, yay. Yeah. We say prasada. Prasada means which is a gift from Bhagavan, from Ishvara. In fact, even we name our children prasada. so that it's not your problem when they grow up. Yeah. This is a very nice thing. Yeah. Ram Prasad, Krishna Prasad. Yeah. That was, and there is one kind of a, what is that? Politician in India who is more in than out. In means behind the bars. He's more in than out. His name is Lalu Prasad. Lalu means Krishna. So I think his mother must have been very enlightened. She took one look at the baby and said, oh, yeah, needs help. This one is going to need help. It's not my problem. It's a very sane way to think about it. Children are a gift. They don't belong to you. They've just come to you as a gift. And for the time being, you take care of them and you set them free when they grow up. That's how they are. And even our children are named Prasad. Everything is Prasada. You cannot translate that word really other than a spirit of glad acceptance. What you get in the temple is also Prasad. So you go there one day, you get a ball of calories called laddu. Nice and sweet and wonderful. Next week you will go there, there's just some water. What? Where is my laddu? You don't say that. This is there even in the Christian tradition. It's there. You go, especially in the Catholic tradition, go there and they give you some bread and wine. You shouldn't call it bread and wine. It is part and parcel of Bhagavan. It is the body of Christ. It's the blood of Christ. It represents sacrifice, and so you take it in the sacred way. But you don't say that person got a bigger piece. I'm getting a smaller piece. No, it's all received with glad acceptance. So we learn to grow inwardly to receive whatever comes with glad acceptance. Like the very annoying king in an ancient story. The king kept on saying, oh, it's okay, it's all right, everything happens for the best. And everybody was sick of this king who kept saying everything happens for the best, everything happens for the best. Especially his sidekick, a minister who was always with him, everything happens for the best. And then they go into the forest one day for a hunt. And then there is a tiger or something that comes. They run as fast as possible. While running, the king falls, cuts his hand very badly, starts to bleed. And then the minister is very worried, tears off a piece of his own cloth and tends to the wound, bandages it. And what does the king say? Everything happens for the best. Shut up, Maharaj, the minister said. You know what you're talking about. And then it's too, they're tired, it's hungry, thirsty. It's too late to go anywhere. Night has fallen, so they just sleep right where they are, in the hope that when the day breaks, they will know where they are in the forest. They got lost when they tried to escape the tiger. Morning, they wake up to some drum beats, and there are some cannibals surrounding them, and a hot water cauldron is being prepared. Who is the most important person out of the two of you? The king says, I am. This one says, shut up, Maharaj, don't advertise yourself like that. Don't do this. It all happens for the best. And then the medicine man comes and examines the king. He says, no, we can't use you as an offering because you've already cut. We can't have any cuts and all. Our God has to have someone with no cuts and we have bled out and all this stuff. Yeah, it all happens. Would you like him? He points to the minister. No, the second best will not do for our God, so you are free to go. You have to think like this. You have to get to the place of letting go. This is what we say karma yoga. And letting go cannot happen until and unless we surrender. We surrender to this universal wisdom called Bhagavan. This wisdom, this uh, the one who controls our karma, the one who gives the result of action, etc. We are in tandem. The surrender is for becoming a better person and for gaining the strength from where to lead this life in the everyday. And that surrender is in the form of prayer. I become more and more not a person who prays, but a prayerful person. A person for whom every act is nothing but a prayer. So I don't have a separate parallel path. There is a flow that we can discern. So I have to be part of that flow. I have to be in tandem with that flow. And the more I can tame the raga dveshas, the more I can grow, the more I'm part of the flow. The more I'm part of the flow, one day you become the flow. That is basically Bhagavad Gita for the everyday life. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnam Purnamudapashvate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Any questions are there? You can ask. Okay.
Thank you, Swami.
Mm.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for blessing our home.
Thank you for having me. Very nice.
I think
Very nice house.
thank
In
you.
fact, this Alameda is fantastic. You should all stay here. Yeah.
You should too.
Yes.
This
I want to live here. It's beautiful here. First time I have come. They live here, yes? Yeah, where is your house?
the other island. Yeah, the State Farm is.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's amazing.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, it's a lovely place. What made you move?
My son goes for rowing here,
Oh,
so we've been
okay,
coming
okay.
here like 5 days a week. So we.
I see. So you thought,
Yeah,
and the other
so
2 days also let us spend
nice.
it. Very nice. Wonderful. Okay, let me turn this off. Then yes.